I'd like to talk about absolute value inequalities. When we have an absolute value, remember absolute value talks about distance from zero. So if we have the absolute value of some expression being greater than a, then we want the distance to be greater than a units away from zero. And that means we want the distance to be greater than a or less than negative a. So a greater than, I like to think of this as great or, is an or statement. When we see an absolute value of some expression being less than a on the number line, we're saying we want that to be less than a units away. So that means we have to be in here between a and negative a. And we want those to be both true at the same time. So this I consider a less than statement because we want this less than means we want and. We want them at the same time. So how do we do this? We're going to start, I'm just going to do two examples. If I have the absolute value of x plus 3 is less than 5, then I first want to break this up as x plus 3 is less than 5. It's a less than symbol, so it's and. X plus 3 is greater than negative 5. So here what we're doing is we are changing this sign here, and we're changing the direction of the inequality. Notice that the expression inside does not change. So now we solve these. So when I solve these, in this case, I'm going to subtract 3 from each side. I'm going to get x is less than 2. And if I subtract on this side, x is greater than negative 8. So when I put this on my number line, I want to be less than 2, open circle and to the left, because I want to be less than. And I want to be greater than negative 8, open circle and to the right. So the only place where these two things overlap are right in here. And the solution is from negative 8 to 2 with parentheses. And I'm looking for an overlap because I want and. The next statement would be absolute value of x plus 3 is greater than 5. So again, we would break this up as two separate statements. First, just dropping the absolute value, or x plus 3 is less than negative 5. It's an or statement because this is a greater than symbol. So we solve these. X is greater than 2, and x is less than negative 8. So here we are at negative 8 and 2. We want to be greater than 2. And we want to be less than negative 8, open circles because we're not including it. And our interval, when we read this graph from left to right, is going to be negative infinity up to negative 8, union 2 to infinity.